I am going to talk today about inflation, and I know that I'm going to be picking up on things that you've already heard. This is the third day of the conference. It's been recorded. If you missed things, you should go back. If you missed David Garofalo the other day discussing things, go back and listen to his talk. Terrific talk. Yesterday, Pierre Lassonde, who wonderful guy, gave a terrific talk. He too mentioned inflation. Yesterday afternoon, Jamie Horvat as well. I'm talking about the sort of the wrapper-uppers, and then in between it all, we got some terrific conference presentations by a lot of companies. I mean, I myself, I follow this stuff for a living. I've been really informed by these presentations. Terrific people, terrific companies. I know a lot of the geology, been places and whatever. And just so you know a little bit, I'm a geologist. I'm a real geologist. I have a Brunton compass that makes me a geologist. I have a rock hammer, which really makes me a geologist. Stealing little thunder from Mark, I go out in the desert sometime with my hat, and in the blazing sun, and I look for stuff. And sometimes I even find it. I mean, I can tell you the difference between cassiterite from Bolivia, copper from Peru, beautiful lazurite and malachite. This is from Laos. You don't find this stuff anymore. Anyhow, I get out in the field and I love it. That was all pre-COVID. I'm looking forward to doing it again. But today, this morning, we're going to talk about inflation. Yesterday, Pierre Lassonde gave a nice kind of introduction to where things are, and a lot of that is going to make my work easy today, because he said, that back in the 70s we started to have inflation. People said, "Oh, don't worry, it's going to go away. It's just a little thing. It's no big deal." And it's oh yeah, really? Inflation was sleeping, then inflation woke up, and then inflation really started to come and gallop. And in my view, the wolf is finally here. The inflation is here. We are in the early innings of all this. Just sort of apocryphal, perhaps, that January this year was the full wolf moon, according to the Farmer's Almanac, a very ominous point for what we have in store for us. You probably see it. I mean, if you go to the grocery store, you see at the grocery store, the price of meat, the price of really everything in every aisle has been going up. And if the price isn't going up, well, the volumes are shrinking. You're getting that shrinkflation. Other places where you see inflation, housing prices. This is a national, number here, but this is from Zillow. I mean, it's been going up, but it's been really going up in the last year or so, and housing is inflating. New houses are going up, in particular because of the lumber and everything else. Old houses, they're going up too. Rental houses are going. Did you know 20% of home sales in America are to big corporate entities right now? We're sort of financializing home ownership in this country. We're really feudalizing the place in terms of monetary policy. We're a nation of people with a lot of money and a nation of renters who can never afford to buy a house. Lumber, we mentioned that already. This is 25-year chart. Look at that! Holy smokes! I mean, about a week or two ago, I was at Home Depot. Just out of curiosity, how much is a plank of plywood? 4 foot by 8 foot. It was over $50 for a piece of plywood. So you've got to be kidding me! No, this is reality. This is what's going on. Inflation is right there in front of you. Price of copper, a little bit closer to home. Here's my little piece of copper here. I got lots more where this came from, but this is from Michigan, actually. Pulled it out of the ground. Copper has been soaring, which is good if you're in the copper mining business. That's great for all of us copper investors out there. It's been a nice run here. I think that in terms of where the run is going, I think we're going to stick around for a while. Used cars, just throw those in there. Past 3 years, look at that. Those numbers have gone up, but because there's problems with new cars because of the chips and all that, Inflation. That's the underlying theme. Just it's going to cost you more to live. Price of gasoline. I mean, the last 18 months. I mean, obviously, the price of gas was very low last year because nobody was driving. We were all sitting in our house, kind of, with the windows closed, taped shut, wearing masks and all that kind of thing. Now everybody's out and about. But where I live, the price of gasoline's up 30 cents a gallon in the last month. It's up over $1 a gallon in about the last 4 months. This is the national version from one of those gasoline websites. Crude oil, it was $40 a barrel. It's over 70 now, and you know. The United States doesn't control the price. Saudi doesn't control the price. Russia controls the price. That's a long story, but I assure you that in the last year, when we were all locked up wearing our face masks, Vladimir Putin and his group got together and did a little geostrategy and got together with the Saudis. They're running the price of oil. It's over $70 a barrel now. According to the Wall Street Journal, just the other day, oil traders are betting on $100 a barrel. Those are the oil futures there. Just a little chart to throw it at you. Price of coal. This is interesting. Everybody hates coal. Oh, coal, fuel of the past, all that sort of thing. This is the last 5 years. I mean, it was doing okay until about 3 years ago. Then it had a 2-year downswing. And then Joe Biden, got elected, and he hates coal. He hates fossil fuels. His whole administration is all about hating coal. And look at that. Look at the price of coal. Not bad, huh? Not bad at all. Iron ore. There you go. I'll mention one of the presenters, Champion Iron, the other day. Wow, what a great what a great run they've had. Really an interesting company. If I can mention one of the presenters here, give a shout out. Price of steel has gone up. I mean, this is just rebar. I mean, there's all sorts of different alloys of steel, but everything's going up. Everybody I know who's in the steel business is going up. The American Petroleum Institute it was either yesterday or the day before forecast a 50% rise in the cost of drill pipe this year. We're talking mining here, not oil, but a lot of mining involves drilling, and drilling involves pipe. These are important factors that go into everything. Steel is up, probably not going down. Cost of cement. Let's look at cement. It's been going up for 5 years, it's pricey. What does it take to make cement? Well, it takes limestone and it takes energy. So the price of energy goes up. There's the cost of cement. Manufacturing has been going up in the Western world. I mean, despite everything that you hear about, unemployment and this and that, try to find skilled labor. Try to find skilled labor in this market. So manufacturing costs are going up. Now I throw all this out here, all these numbers and everything else. One final item. This is important for the mining sector. The price of explosives. It's up somewhat, but it's relatively under control in the last 10 years. But the price of explosives is up as well. So now what does that mean for us who follow the mining sector? Well, the major cost components of mining. Let's take a look. You got to have labor to do your mining. Okay, the price of labor is going up. Price of fuel is going up. Big component of mining. Steel, cement, copper for wire and machinery. Prices are going up. Lumber going up. Explosives are somewhat okay, but still, for everybody who's in the mining business, in terms of forecasting your cost structure, I mean, how do you do that in an inflationary environment? It's a tough job. I mean, the price of what you sell is going up, yes, but the cost of how you produce it, that's going up too. So I think, and I suppose we can all hope that the prices that we get at the end of the day will maintain and go up. And we're in an inflationary time though, but for all these price costs that we see, or price rises that we see, it creates a problematic forecast for the future. So let's look at a few other things. Meanwhile, we've got political confusion everywhere, if not industrial, what I call cognitive dissonance. One of the key elements of everything is energy. I mean, people say, well, energy is like, 6, 8, 10% of the world's economy. Yeah, great. Try running the other 90% without it. I mean, there are a few slides here. There's some the Keystone XL pipes sitting in the snow there, not under the ground, carrying bitumen from Canada. In fact, this morning, I just opened the Wall Street Journal, and the Keystone XL is dead. The company that runs it, TC TransCanada company, is killing it. that's symbolic of that sort of Western war against its own energy sources. Down in the lower left there, that's Texas in February, when the big freeze came. And a great big state like Texas, which brags about how its GDP is bigger than entire countries and all this sort of stuff, and move to Texas and everything else. Yeah, great, move to Texas. And I'm not knocking Texas, other than they were totally unprepared for this weather event. Oh my goodness, it's cold in the wintertime. Who would have thought, And somehow or another, in the future, we, the U.S., Canada, Western world, we're supposed to run our whole economy on windmills and solar power. Good luck with that. Long discussion there. Throw a little shout out for this Green New Fraud book here. There's so much wrong with the whole forecast that will somehow run the world on solar and wind. It's not even funny. But at the same time, all those windmills are going to use a lot of copper. They'll use a lot of rare earths. I mean, polycrystalline silicon, things like that. Again, it's mecca for the mining industry to make these things happen. Government policy is spend, 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 but at the same time, frankly, I don't know how you get out of this. We're coming up on the 50th anniversary of Nixon closing the gold window. And we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of, everything sort of monetary going like this, in the world. Last year, when Trump was still president and Nancy Pelosi, tore up his State of the Union speech, that was apocryphal. I mean, that was certainly. I mean, and it's not even a personal thing of Trump, Biden, Pelosi, whatever. This is a cultural thing, It's a cultural thing, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure where things go. I mean, where do you go when you're in 4th century Rome and you look around and and you're seeing things the way they are? Depressing, but what the heck? Well, while it's all happening, we may as well have some fun, go out in the world and see things. It's going to be spend, spend, spend. I mean, we're not talking billions and tens of billions and hundreds of billions. We're talking trillions of dollars. Where does this money come from? Well, it comes from nowhere. It comes from little ones and zeros at the Federal Reserve, and that gets us to the next 10 or so minutes. While I kind of make the points that I really want to make. Inflation's here. The wolf is at the door. Hello. People are worried. Can you blame them? What do people do when they're worried? Well, here they're carrying pitchforks and torches and all that. This is from the original Frankenstein movie. Just sort of throw that out there. Another thing that they do when they're worried is people vote with their dollars. They vote with their inflating, declining dollars, and they go into hard assets. So we're going to look at the other end of the mining side today. The shiny stuff. Both old metal and new. On the left is a 1921 Morgan silver dollar, and on the right is a U.S. mint box that you can buy from it. And I'm just mentioning the name APMEX, American Precious Metal Exchange. There are many other coin sellers. There are many other places to buy. I just sort of mentioned them because that's where I got it. But I mean, you can go out and you can buy a little sheaf of U.S. mint, $20 or $1 Eagles, although that $1 is going to cost you something. This is one of those 1921 Morgans. This is really a 100-year-old coin, and I mention that for a reason. It's because just a couple of weeks ago, the U.S. Mint, which knows a few things about coins and about metals and precious metals, things like that, they had a sale. They're coming out with a 100-year anniversary of the 1921 U.S. Morgan 100-year anniversary. They're going to sell you a 2021 coin for $85 for 0.89 of an ounce of 999 silver. $85 for that. Now, this is a numismatic product. Okay, I mean, it is a high-end collector item sort of a thing. This one was going to have the CC, the Carson City Mint, stamp on it. They sold 175,000 of these things in 20 minutes. They crashed the website. Think about that. That's how much demand is out there for these new coins. But that's not all. There's more. because there was another mint special product, 2021 Morgan anniversary, 100th anniversary, with the New Orleans, stamp on it, and they're selling that for 85 bucks, and they sold 175,000 of those within 20 minutes. So what does that tell you? That tells you that there's immense demand out there. I mean, the idea that not just for your basic sort of junk silver, not just bags of old quarters or bags of old dimes, but for even special things where we're literally at $85, that's that's 3.5 times the markup on of spot silver. Think about that, but the U.S. Mint sold it out, and they were very embarrassed. They sent out an apology email to everybody, which I received a copy of it. And oh, we're really sorry, man, but there's a world shortage of silver. Is what they said. Well, that created a whole nother situation, and they had to send out a corrective email, which they did. The United States Mint, there it is, on Wednesday, June 2nd, 11:51, according to my timestamp. The U.S. Mint is being impacted by what they call silver blank shortages among its suppliers. The demand for many of our bullion and numismatic products is at record heights, okay, and increasingly outpacing the supply of silver blanks available through suppliers. They wanted to clarify that there's no shortage of silver in the world, but we just can't get enough silver blanks to stamp our products. Now think about that for a minute. The U.S. Mint is one of the largest, big, mints in the world. I mean, there's the U.S. Mint, Canada Mint, Perth Mint, Austria, South Africa, and then there are other countries that have their own, mints, and they can, I mean, you can buy a silver coin from a Shanghai Mint. Here's the Shanghai Dragon here. I'll just show it to you if you're interested. It's got a little square thing in it because you can. One of the ways they used to store these coins in China was to put them on a stick. I mean, you can buy coins from, where the heck is it? I was going to say you can buy them from Ukraine, you can buy them from Russia, you can buy them all over the place. But the U.S. Mint's one of the big mints of the world. The U.S. Mint has clauses in its contract that says, silver supplier, if you have problems supplying silver, you supply us first. We are the number one supplier. You don't give it to everybody else. You give it to us first, or else you're not our supplier anymore. That's written right there in the 4 letters of their contracts. Think about that for a moment. The U.S. Mint is basically telling the whole world that we have silver blank shortages among our suppliers. Well, we, the Mint, are the number one customer for these suppliers, and they can't meet our demand. So when people say, oh, don't worry, there's no shortage of silver. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, they'll scramble, they'll find, they'll obtain it, but we will see. We will see how it goes. But what it is, it's a reflection of people, leaving the currency system, the cash system, and moving into hard metals with that proverbial 5% or 10% or 15% of their portfolio. This is what we're seeing, and like I said, we are in the early innings of all of this. Now, it's much the same with gold as well. The Mint, when it comes to buying gold coins, I mean, these are sort of the special, the special stamps of coins. But I mean, these are 1 ounce, U.S. eagles, and there's a buffalo in there. It's got an Indian head, but there's a buffalo on the other side, so people call them buffaloes. But I mean, first of all, look at the price. I mean, gold is at $1,800 some dollars yesterday or whatever. Look at the markup on those things. These are for the special, the numismatic versions, but that's okay. You can't buy them anyhow. They're sold out. Sold out. If you go to the U.S. Mint, you go looking through for what can I buy? What's available? What's it? Sold out. Not available. Something's going on. This is not a robust market. This is a market where the early people get in there and they clean it all out with everything they can, paying premium prices for numismatics as opposed to anything else they can get. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to go with the Mint. You can buy from dealers, but you're going to pay over the spot. Again, we'll go back to APMEX, but I mean, on a personal level, I've used AppMex in the past, but there are many, many, many fine other coin outfits out there that. But look at this. This is yesterday. This is a U.S. Buffalo. $2,055 if you buy 100 of them. I mean, I don't know if you can see the fine print on there, but if you are really interested, you're paying well over $2,100. You're paying $250 over spot, basically, about 12%, 13% markup on that. And people are buying them. I mean, they you go buy them, and you still might have to wait for availability. How about on silver? What about silver? Again, AppMex. How about just your basic U.S. U.S. Silver Eagle? There you go. Good old Silver Eagle. Everybody likes a U.S. Silver Eagle. What spot price of silver? Pick a number. It's 27, 28 thereabouts. Well, you're looking in the range of $41, $42. To buy it online. That's pick a number. 45, 50% markup over spot just to get it. So again, people are buying, and they are paying very high premiums in a historical sense for the privilege of converting their cash dollars into hard metal. It tells you something that inflation is here, and that's the focus that you should have as you go about your mining investment. Takeaway from all of this: there is demand out there for every ounce of gold, every ounce of silver that somebody can pull out of the river, pull out of the side of the hill, pull out of the pit. We are looking at an era of inflation, which is another way of saying we're looking at an era of the decline of the purchasing power of cash dollars. Things go up, things go down day to day, but over time, gold will hold its own. I'll end. I started out mentioning Russia controlling the price of oil. So one or two comments there that people think that that's not true. I think that you're wrong. You and I and Mr. Putin can have that discussion. On the top left is a gold ruble, a 50 ruble piece from the days of Tsarist Russia. It's about a quarter of an ounce, a little seven point something grams. That was a very standard unit of currency back in the days of Russia. I happen to have one right here. And over time, Russia had their Bolshevik Revolution. They became communist. But what other coins did they mint under communism? Guess what? This is a 1975 Chernovets. It's this too was nominally $10 worth of face value rubles, or 10 rubles. I'm sorry. But again, a quarter ounce of gold. It's the exact same size, the exact same everything. And even today, the Russians are printing or minting gold coins. The new St. George slaying the dragon coin that comes out, that's a 50 ruble coin. But again, there it is right there. 100 and some years of Russia, from the czars to the communists to the Russian Federation today, they have maintained a certain type of coin that they produce, not so much for circulation, but as just to sort of maintain a standard of what a Russian coin ought to be, what a Russian coin, a czarist Russian coin, a Soviet Russian coin, a modern Russian coin. It's going to have a quarter ounce of gold in it. That tells me that there's a historical memory there. They're making a statement to the world. And while we're at it, and for all of you who dismiss Russia as just a nuclear-armed gas station, to which I say, yeah, well, the United States is just a nuclear-armed big box store. Look what happens when a ship gets stuck in the Suez Canal. Our economy crashes. Look what Russia's been doing for the last 7 or 8 years, really, since a lot of bad things started happening in Ukraine in the early mid-teens. But they've done nothing but accumulate gold. Russia has one of the highest ratios of gold to GDP. Has the highest ratio of gold to GDP in the world. I've worked many years with a guy named Jim Rickards, who writes a lot about this, and we've written a lot about it, and there's much to say about it. But Russia has accumulated a lot of gold over the years, and They have probably the most gold-backed currency in the world, despite all the sanctions. And they don't need the West, and they're teaming up with China, and that's a whole nother story. But for those of us on the outside looking in, as we see inflation, the decline of the purchasing power of our dollars, and just craziness at the political level, gold is the way to go. Gold, silver, and on the the extension of that is the mining side of the house. Well-run gold miners, like Pierre Lassonde yesterday said. Management team and ore grade. I mean, I love the geology, I love the jurisdiction, and I love the management teams. Pierre and I are on the same boat with that. And so with that, we are coming to the end of my discussion with you, and we are coming to the beginning of another wonderful day of terrific presentations. I see that Mark is back here with his hat. Mark, you wore your hat the other day. I'm a geo guy, so I'll put on my hard hat here. We'll be down into the mine together, and we will crank on those rocks and bust those rocks, and we will pull some gold out of the ground here. So
I love it,
thank you
Byron.
everyone for listening. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, attendees. And Mark, I kick it off to you.